welcome to today's episode of the Daily Blend, our special District After Dark segment. And if it sounds a little different, that's because we are in the district at the iconic Blue Note. And I am having a chance to catch up with Mike Nolan. How are you, Mike?
I'm great. How are you?
I am doing really, really well. So, Mike, I'm going to let you tell me what your official title is.
Sure. My title is Senior Market Director. For lack of a better term, I'm in charge of the operations here at Blue Note and Rose Music Hall.
You make stuff happen.
I do. I try to. And yeah, I've been around for a while. I've been here for 15 years now. And dropped out of school after wasting 5 years of my mom's money, and got an internship at the Blue Note, and things kept panning out, and now I'm here in charge of the operations.
Say sorry to your mom.
Yeah. Well, she's happy now.
See, she's happy now. Yeah. See, sometimes those things work out.
Right.
Sometimes those things work out. Well, I'm glad you found the Blue Note, or that the Blue Note found you, or however it happened.
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both. I'm glad that happened, and I'm sure plenty of people in this community are. You've been around for 15 years, so you've seen a lot.
I have. Yeah, I mean, everything from, obviously iconic shows and performances, people who are major superstars now, to, people falling in love, weddings. We've hosted memorials and funerals before, which is not something I thought I would be getting involved in when I, joined the rock and roll biz, but we really do it all. If it's something that has a big moment or a memory or a special time attached to it, we're kind of in that business.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know if most people think, but the Blue Note really can be transformed. I've seen it into lots of different things.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily just for concerts.
No, not at all. And in fact, I mean, when it was built in 1927, which we're coming up on our 100-year anniversary, it was originally, a picture house. They showed like old black and white movies, and then it was had a little stint as Broadway performances and some live performances. It had a stint of being just nothing and vacant. There was a time too when it was a little record shop where it was like basically just the front lobby. It was sort of a record store. So the building itself has had many different personalities, and then since it's been the Blue Note, we now do lots of different things. Like I said, weddings, concerts, corporate events, you name it. And we can dress it up with the lights and decorations and make it look nice, because when it's really bright, that's when you see that it's a concert venue. So, understood. But I mean, you guys have a sister venue as well. Yeah, in Rose Music Hall, same idea down there. We've done the whole spectrum of events down there. And we love that space. I mean, it's the Rose Music Hall is the indoor club, and then we have Rose Park attached to it, which allows us to be really flexible, both in terms of the type of artists that we'll book and the tickets that they need to sell in order to bring them to town. And then also just the versatility with the different types of events that I mentioned too, being able to have the indoor and outdoor components. So
that was going to be my next question. How do you decide who goes where? Does the artist decide, or do you kind of look and say you might be a better fit for Rose as opposed to Blue Note?
Yeah, it's a great question. Generally speaking, the agents that we work with kind of know what's going to be the best fit for their artist, and I'm specifically talking about artists on tour. With that idea, but so we've been around long enough that they know, they've worked with us, they kind of have a general idea of what's a good fit. We do sometimes influence that, or there's been times when we've had a band booked at Rose and they explode all of a sudden. We're like, we got to move them to the big house, and so there is a little bit of how we can influence things, or like stuff that will be right on the cusp. You'll have other you'll have acts that are playing venues around the country that are maybe like a 400 capacity venue. So then that's kind of when they'll default to us. Like, where do you think they should play, Blue Note or Rose? So again, it's a little bit of both. I mean, the beauty of my job, or our jobs, all of us here, is that we're kind of always in a shade of gray, and it's always a judgment call to some degree or another. But yeah, so it's fun. We get to try to find the right home for everybody.
The right fit for everybody.
Yeah.
So what's been your most memorable, like in your 15 years, what would you say has been your most memorable concert? Do you have one?
Yeah, the one that I typically always give is when Gary Clark Jr. played here in like 13, I think, and just for me personally, it was a cool show and a memorable show because that was like the kind of the moment it clicked for me that I wanted to stick around and try to dive deeper into this industry, and primarily just because when he was booked, I didn't know anything about him. I saw that he was like a blues artist, which is a pretty broad category for somebody like him. And I was kind of like, oh, great. Like, it's a blues guy's coming in to play some boring old blues music. And for anybody who's familiar with Gary Clark, you know he is anything from boring and not even bluesy all the time. But so I remember I was standing right there at the edge of the bar, and I was just like, whoa, and he blew my mind. And that kind of was the moment where I was like, I want more of this experience. So that one was super fun. But again, there's so many different
things that
ways
happen.
that I feel like I could define it. You know, when we had Modest Mouse booked out on 9th Street as part of the summer concert series we do, and it got, you know, we had a weather issue, and we were able to move it inside, and we convinced the band to do 2 shows, which doesn't ever happen, at least in one evening. And like, you know, we talked literally to the lead singer about doing it, and like that was just super cool, like pulling that off and making it happen. So again, like I feel like depending on what flavor of memorable I'm trying to go with, I could have many different answers, but that's the quickest way for me to answer it.
So real quick, before we go, before we wrap, what are you most looking forward to coming up in this season?
Well, ironically enough, we have Modest Mouse coming back to Rose Park, so that's going to be a fun one. And we've joked that since the smaller venue's attached there, if it rains, we'll just ask them to do 6 shows inside Rose Music Hall. That one's going to be great. We actually have the Pixies the next night, just Pixies the next night, which we're all super excited about. That's a humongous band coming to Columbia. And you know, we even have an up-and-coming artist, Cameron Faith, I think, is coming to Rose.
I think that's her name.
Yeah, so we're all looking forward to that. But yeah, for me personally, those are the ones like coming up in a couple months that I'm super stoked for.
Well, Mike, it is always good to see you.
Yeah,
always good to catch up. And I'll see you at least one of those concerts, at least one. Thank you so much for joining us.
Bet.
Nice to see you again.
Likewise, see you soon.